Hello students, I hope you all are fine and safe and at home. Today we are going to study about cells. What is a cell? The cell is the most basic and the most fundamental unit of our body. All the living organisms are made up of cells. These cells add up to become an organism. Like we see that bricks are used in making a building, right? In the same way, our body or all the bodies of living organisms in this world are made up of tiny units called cells. These are the building blocks. Now these cells are very small inside. They are very tiny, so we cannot see them with our naked eye. To see them, we need a microscope. We can place the cell under the microscope and then we can see them. Now we have different kinds of cells in our body. The cells function same in the base level. Like the cells in our digestive system differs from a cell in our nervous system. But at the base level, all the cells carry out the same activities. That is, to keep us alive and the basic metabolic activities required. Different kinds of cells come together, a group of cells come together and make a tissue. These tissues come together and make an organ. The organs come together and make an organ system. And the organ system comes together to make an organism. For example, let us take an example of digestive system. Okay? In digestive system, we have many organs, right? Stomach, liver, intestine, etc. But first, cells come together to make a liver. Cells come together to make a small intestine. Cells come together to make a stomach. Likewise, the organs are created. Now these organs work together to form a system. That is our digestive system. Now we have many other systems in the body. The circulatory system, the nervous system, the endocrine system. All the systems come together to make an organism. Now, we need to understand that there are two types of organisms, unicellular and multicellular. In unicellular, these organisms are made up of one cell. That is, they have only one cell in their body. We can take the example of bacteria, paramecium, yeast, etc. At the same time, there are organisms, those who are made up of more than one cell. These are called multicellular organisms. Like example, we can take us or any plant or any animal. We see they are made up of a large number of cells. That is why they are called multicellular organisms. Now, can you estimate the number of cells that we have? The number is not in hundreds or thousands. We have trillions of cells in our body. Yes, the cells are so minute, so small in size that we need trillions of cells to make our body. Now, we need to understand how does a cell look like. The plant cell differs slightly from the animal cell, but the basic is same. The cell is surrounded by a thin boundary which is called the cell membrane. The cell membrane is very important as it is the boundary which encloses the cell and prevents the constituents to leak out. Now, the cell is surrounded by the cell membrane. Inside, at the center, we find a spherical organelle that is called nucleus, and that is the head. That is the organelle which controls the cell. Now, most of the cells have a well-defined nucleus. Now, nucleus is a spherical organelle at the center of the cell. It is surrounded by a nuclear membrane so that it is compact. Most of the cells has that nuclear membrane and that compact nucleus, but some do not. The primitive cells, the very simple kind of cells most of the unicellular organisms, they have only a single cell and they are very primitive, they are very simple. They do not have that nuclear membrane. So their nucleus is not very well made or very well defined. The nucleus of unicellular or prokaryotic, they are called prokaryotic. These organisms do not have a well-defined nucleus. The bigger organisms, they have a different kind of cell, that is the eukaryotic cell, in which the nucleus is well defined and is having a nuclear membrane. Now, other thing that is very important is the cytoplasm. The cell contains cytoplasm, which is a jelly-like substance outside the nucleus, inside the cell but outside the nucleus. The cytoplasm contains many other cell organelles that helps it to survive, to carry out the different metabolic activities to survive. So that was the basic introduction about cell. That's all for today, and we will continue in the next